Hey everybody, Dr. Don Clum here, and welcome back. We are going into the noisy hormones presentation. There are some major player noisy hormones that can disrupt every other hormone in our body, whether we have a little or we have a lot. It all can be impacted in how they function and how they show up in our health, our life, our quality of life. When we're talking about hormones, it's not just about the number on a test that's important, how much you have, how little you have, whether it's free or bound hormones. It's about how they play well together. How well do they play and how well do they synergize together to create this thing called life, health, metabolic function, metabolism, all of it, okay? And if there are any metabolic bullies or hormonal bullies out there, here they are right here. Insulin and cortisol, the two metabolic hormonal bullies on the playground. When these two gang up and start to do their thing, run their gig, they can throw havoc to every other hormone there is. And I'll show that in a second. But they are the two hormonal bullies on the playground. Why? Why are they the dominant, the apex predators of hormones? Mainly it's insulin and it's minion cortisol, because they are absolutely the most fundamental hormones we have to staying alive. They are the basic, highest on the food chain of hormones for life. Insulin determines whether we use energy or store it every day, every moment, all the time. Very important, whether you use it or store it. Use it or store it. How does that look like? Whether you have daily energy, whether you're burning energy, whether you're moving your body, your mind, your emotions well, all comes down to energy. Storing it comes down to where does it get stored? In our muscles, in our liver, in our organs where it's not supposed to be, in our brain in the form of plaquing, in our scar tissue and joints with excess scarring. All of that is considered growth, and insulin is in charge of that because it's storing something on some level. Also, and it would be remiss to mention body weight, body fat. Insulin is the gatekeeper that determines whether you can gain weight, body fat, lose body fat. It gives the full access. It's like the bouncer in front of the door saying, yes, you can come in, no, you can come out. So if there's an insulin problem, even with all your best efforts, you're not losing body fat, that door is still closed. See what I mean? Use or store energy. And what insulin says goes, because it's the top of the hierarchy. It's the apex predator right there. But insulin has a minion, that friend from high school that whenever you get around him, you just cause trouble. You degrade. You start talking different, acting different. You want to go out and get into some mess, right? We all have them. Well, maybe not everybody, but I know I have one, or maybe more than one. Or maybe I'm that friend to someone else. I don't know. But anyway, cortisol is the minion to insulin. Cortisol is the minion to insulin. Cortisol liberates glucose for energy in our body at a moment's notice. It is our response to stress. It is our number one, the most powerful anti-inflammatory hormone or substance we know of. Think of things like prednisone or cortisol shots, right? Those are synthetic cortisol, right? If you are in an inflamed state or have been or know someone who is, and inflammation's an issue, cortisol is part of that. It's not causing it, it's the answer to it. It is the anti-inflammatory. So, but we can respond to cortisol many different ways depending on the rest of our profile, depending on what insulin is doing and the other hormones. Here's the deal. Why are these guys such bullies, and why do they play havoc in such a central role in all the rest of our hormones? Doesn't matter if it's testosterone or estrogen, human growth hormone or oxytocin. It could be sex hormone binding globulin. It could be DHEA, progesterone. It could be all sorts of things. It also plays a role in our brain with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and in our body with serotonin. It's a major player. Why? Because insulin's a boss. Insulin's a boss. And when insulin is dominant and not being kept in check, it's a bully with its minion cortisol. And the reason they play such havoc is because we can activate either of those at any time we want. We can do it by eating or not eating, what we eat, how we eat it, time of day, what we combine it with, what we did yesterday. All of it can influence insulin. Cortisol is a response to reducing, managing stress. Stress goes up, cortisol is supposed to bring it down, along with a lot of other factors, but it's a part of the deal. Cortisol can be activated with a thought, with a memory, from a dream, with a worry or preoccupation about the future. So anything you think, you do, you don't think, all of it can play a role in these and get these guys revving and rolling and pair them up and let them go out onto the playground and cause chaos. That's why insulin and cortisol are the two bullies on the playground, because we can activate them at will without even a thought or action at all that can trigger them and get them going. Okay, never mind the stress of daily life, never mind the food choices and the misinformation that we have around food that leads us to it. It is a compounding snowball going downhill if you don't understand these bullies and how to calm them down. They're noisy, loud mouths, but like any bully, you confront them, you keep them in check, they calm down. And when they calm down, all the other 400, 500 hormones that we know of start to come out and play nice together again. And that's what we call change. That's what we call relief. That's what we call improved mood, weight loss. That's what we call improved health, healing, and so forth. All right, so stay tuned. Let's get into it.